Welcome to the People's Revolution podcast. This is the space where we share stories from activists around the world. We hope that these stories inspire you to act locally as we share globally.
I don't have a problem with you. This generation, look around, there's nothing left to do. Liberation, take one final step and then you'll see the complications. System don't belong to you or me.
Welcome to the People's Revolution podcast. Today we're going to start out, as always, with a land acknowledgement. A recognition that we are on stolen land is not enough when the genocide we call history still continues today and is reinforced by the daily lives of those unaware. Residential schools only closed their last doors in 1997, but the mentality of the residential schools lives on. White people imagine living in a place that not only normalizes genocide, but actively covers it up. We don't live here because a peaceful treaty was signed. We live here because white people before us brutally pushed their way in. This includes our current government, RCMP, and church. We need to acknowledge this and the harmful systems it brought with it before we can even attempt to create reconciliation. It is a privilege to not know that you are living in such a way that makes a genocidal reality seem like regular everyday life. I would still like to recognize the stolen land I am speaking from is rightfully the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Nations and was forced to be the home of Treaty 7. These nations are Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. These are the spaces the Siksikaitsitsi people lived and practiced their oral traditions as far back as existence goes. Treaty 7 was then signed on September 22, 1877 in a brutally unethical way. This treaty was not in any way upheld. Treaty 7 includes the Tsuut'ina Nation, the Stoney Nakoda Nations, and the Métis Nation of Region 3. So this space, known as Calgary, is rightfully known as Mohkinstsis. Thank you. So we're gonna now get into it. Today we have WinterWolf, a three-piece punk band currently in New York City, originating from Harlem, Brooklyn, and New York, created in 2017. We have Jay, Tony, and Nate. Hi, guys.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm very excited to have this conversation.
So are we.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Perfect. Well, I want to just jump in and talk about you. What brought you guys together? What brought you guys to punk? Whichever one you want to start first. I want to get to know you a little bit. And I'm going to pick
first.
Oh, I was okay.
Yeah, come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
You like knew I was going to say your name, Nate? You're like...
Where do I start, right? What brought me to punk? What brought me to punk was the community. The community and sound and fury of punk brought that to me, brought me to it, and I love the protest themes and the protest music, and I love the off the wallness, of rock and roll and how it represented, or not represented, but resembled how I, gospel music, how I grew up going to church. And I was like, oh, these two are very similar. And, turns out it come from the same place. So that's what drew me into, I guess, punk.
Awesome.
For me, it was the same thing. It was community and also the sounds. One of the first punk bands I started listening to was Rancid. And getting into them was purely random, just stumbled upon them. And yeah, so much of the similarities being raised in a church environment, of how much they just sound so similar, almost to the point where I was listening to two of the same things, and it just made me gravitate towards it more.
Well, I think it's safe to say that all the three of us have all of different similarities when it comes to punk and how we got involved in punk, how punk just resonated with us. Yes, all three of us grew up, maybe not I'm stuttering. Not necessarily going to church, but me, I went to church, but mostly quartet shows. You know, in the States, they call gospel shows quartet. And my parents, they met in the 80s, and that's how I got here. And they used to take me to their quartet shows. And as a little child, I was like, wow, I love this music. I love the guitar player, the drummer, the keyboard, the lead singer. And a lot of people don't know that the origins of music, a little history lesson for those who don't know, comes from the gospel sound. And so we're just investing in our roots and just letting everybody know that we come from the root and we are giving it our own sound. So yeah, so we all have similarities in the way that punk resonates with all of us. But for me personally, it's just gospel, just digging in through my father's tape decks, cassettes, and just hearing these different sounds. It's like, wow, this sound amazes me. Before I even pinpointed what the sound was, it's like, wow, I want to listen to this. I'm going to find out where this came from, who influenced this artist. So it was just diving into the history of music and just learning and applying it to what we do.
Awesome. I love that. Perfect.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Yes.
A plus.
I did a project more recently than I'd like to admit, and that is when I learned that the roots of music in North America all came from the same place, and I was like, oh shit. So I love bringing it up. I love making sure other people know, because my ignorant ass did not until quite recently. So
Hey, we learn something new every day.
look.
Every day is about learning.
Hey, you caught on. That's all that matters.
Yeah. And you guys have a new EP coming out very shortly, tomorrow, after this release date.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's behind Nate's head.
I'll move over.
The UnWell.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christy who did the artwork.
And shout
Yeah.
out to Christy
Christy
Road
Road.
from Choked
Yeah.
Up for hooking us up with this. This was such a blessing for her to be doing this for us.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little about the album?
The album's about, I named it UnWell because we recorded it at the start of the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
At the
like
start of the
right
pandemic.
at the start of the pandemic.
And I wanted to represent how, I guess, what was going on at the time, how everyone was feeling, and I just sat with UnWell, and that's what's going on in the album. I'm feeling unwell, and everyone else feeling unwell, so I just wanted to get us together and recognize we're going through a trial, some tribulations.
Right. And it's not just UnWell, the title says it all, but it's just all aspects, from a lot of people during the pandemic, probably before the pandemic, were feeling unwell, just mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. And, we were all, feeling like that as well. So we just wanted to write about it and just give you a taste of where we're coming from or where we're headed. Now, I don't want to say necessarily headed, but it could be that if you don't take the time to just talk about it, because you can't talk about it with your family members, your co-workers, your classmates. So, we want to talk about it in this album, and that's what it represents.
And it has 4 songs. Is that right?
Correct.
And all based around the theme of it's kind of sounding like mental health, community. Great. Well, I can't wait to check it out tomorrow.
Hope you like it.
Yeah. We worked hard on it. We had fun making it.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely like a labor of love.
Yeah, it's definitely
coming
laborious.
from us. And we wanted to, and this is like our first EP together as a band. So this is like us putting our all and showcasing, what we can do together. And, as an EP, it's basically like showing what we can also, what our sound's going to be in the future.
Right.
Yeah. Do you find it differs than the music that you have out? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say so. It's
Yeah.
more soulful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's definitely more soulful. Um, it's punk, but this is more like punk inspired. It's definitely, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but there's a definitely difference between, the old release and this,
Right.
feeling
But just
wise.
like, like elevating. It's just like we were becoming,
Yes,
we
elevated,
became,
right.
yes, we became mad scientists. We put all our influences, stirred it up, put it in a pot, and we just gave it to you. And all the glory
Mhm.
will be coming out. And when you hear it.
nice.
Yeah. Like for a lot of us, even though we all, listen to punk, my background, because I also play in a hardcore band called Ma'afa, where I play djembe in that one, but I'm more inspired by like New York hardcore, and um, I used to like metalcore and stuff like that. So we're all just bringing our own sort of influence and not being afraid to be experimental and creative, and keeping things more interesting.
Mm.
Mhm.
So did your band play? Did you play 2 shows yesterday?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He sure
Nate,
did.
he played
Yeah,
Nate
it
three
was.
did. We played
sets.
one. We played one. We played
It
Nate was
wasn't
on
two
double
shows.
duty.
It was one
Or-
show, but I did do double duty,
That's what I meant. Yeah.
which, oh yeah, and I was extremely tired afterwards. I almost, thank God for cabs, because I was not trying to take a train back home.
Yeah. Yeah. How was so you guys played the Juneteenth celebration and you
Mhm.
played it
Yes.
twice.
Hmm.
How was it?
Oh, it was a really good show.
Yeah,
The
it
turnout
was
was
one
pretty
for the
good.
books.
Yeah, the turnout was pretty good. The crowd was really receptive. The crowd was really into
Yeah.
it. They were dancing, from first band to last, and
Yeah.
the bands were on point as
Yeah.
usual. As usual.
Yeah, shout out to Foul Pride. This was like their
Shout,
first show.
right, right. That was their
Um,
first show. Right.
they were absolutely amazing. Like
Mhm.
absolutely
Shout out to
You wouldn't
Rebelmatic. Shout
think.
out to
Yeah.
Mahaka.
problematic.
It was like a movie. It was like an experience, a
Yeah,
black
it was a very good
experience.
day.
It was
Very
like a
good day.
different world. Yeah, you come in from the outside world, but once you stepped in the Meadows, was the name of the venue, it's like, oh my God, this is a world. This is a whole new atmosphere. What am I in right now?
Mm, intriguing.
And
Yeah,
everybody
you can
showed
see
love.
that. You can see that on the faces of the people who are outside the scene and
Yeah.
just coming to visit. And like
Mhm.
they're like, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
but this is awesome.
Right.
Right.
This is amazing.
And the buzz was like, all are welcome. Enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. That's extremely intriguing and sounds wonderful, to be honest. Cool. You guys actually have quite a few shows,
Yeah, we
either
play a
coming
lot.
up or you just played. Like you guys play a fair
Yeah,
bit.
we play a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
We love to
Um,
play. We love to play. No complaints there. No complaints.
Punk Island, is that coming up?
Yes, that's coming up. It's a free
Mhm.
punk fest here in New York City. Everyone
And
should come through.
Yes.
It's gonna be in Maria Hernandez Park,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
Mhm.
Yep.
and you've
on July, let me see the calendar.
23rd.
23rd.
23rd. Yeah, July 23rd. Thank you guys.
Mhm.
have you played Punk Island before?
Yes, I have,
Well,
but these guys
Jay
haven't. These two
did.
Yeah,
haven't. Yeah.
this would be my first.
Oh,
This would be my first as well.
oh. Cool. How was your first experience, Jay?
The crowd, again, the punk crowd here in New York City is amazing and diverse and really
Super
accepting
diverse.
of each other. Yeah, really amazingly diverse, and they're really accepting. And they just love a good sound, no matter who's coming from. And the kids are into it. The older generation shows up, and it's also a big love fest. Honestly, we really
Mhm.
have problems. It's a really good festival, I think.
Mhm.
Is it free? Did I read that right?
Yes, free. Yep,
Yes, it's free.
So yeah,
for the punks.
It's free, guys. It's free.
Absolutely
Right.
free.
Like,
Come out to New York.
yeah,
Yes.
July 23rd.
Saturday,
Mhm.
Maria Hernandez.
Yes, you have to hypnotize people to come. Come to me.
Nah, mess all that. Yo, get over here. Bro, come on.
Well,
We
you guys
know where
al-
you live.
you also have another cool show coming up in Texas.
Yes.
Yes.
Forward to that too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Shout out to Jazz and of Lagrimas and Robbie of Bozos for putting this together. Like
Mhm.
they definitely are a blessing. This will be our first time in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
It's a black and brown fest.
Black and Brown Fest out in Houston at Bohemos.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mm.
It's at 2 p.m. We're the headlining band, but come through for all the other bands that are going to
Yeah.
be there too. It's going to be amazing.
And the vendors.
And
the
the vendors.
vendors.
Yes.
And the vendors.
The vendors look good, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And you guys have played other cool, and like for example, Left Hook. It's a show that you've played for a benefit show for a free boxing program. I thought that was
Yes.
also
Yes.
pretty sweet.
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah. That was
Mhm.
an amazing. That was a great show. Great night.
Yeah, that was
Great
a great
night.
night.
Yes. Fun.
And you've also played more free shows at Tompkins Square Park.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh no! Wait. Well,
No,
that one got
we-
canceled.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
no.
That one got
No. Those got canceled.
Oh,
Yeah,
Those
they
shows
got
got
canceled.
So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but we'll in the future we'll have
We're definitely
that
coming
chance.
back to Tompkins. We're definitely coming back to Tompkins.
Yeah.
So.
Well, absolutely, yeah. We also, I don't know if you have, you do your homework. I love that about you already. We also played 2 pop-up shows that the band from New York, Rebelmatic, were giving during the height of the pandemic, where no shows were going on. So they took it upon themselves to bring the equipment, bring the sound system, and if the street that we were on, if the weather permits, they would have different bands come out and they would headline every week. Normally it would be on Saturdays, but some occasions, some Sundays.
Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday, Sundays at the weekend, and it was during the springtime and the summertime, and we played 2 of those shows, and it was remarkable. That also felt like a different experience, like a whole movie.
Right.
I'm putting it out in the atmosphere that if somebody documented that, which I'm sure they did, that will be made into a movie in the future. So look out for that.
Doc Martens made it into a commercial.
They really did. No, they did sort of do like a mini doc a little bit. So like we were all in it.
cool.
Mhm.
Okay, well, if it ever comes out, you'll have to send it to me so I can experience this experience.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Netflix, Hulu.
Netflix.
No, Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you then. There was a show that you guys played, but it ended up being an illegal show that got shut down. Do you want to tell me the story of that?
All right, I'll tell it.
La Jungla.
La Jungla. Yo,
La Jungla.
first of all, shout out to everyone who was at La Jungla. Like, you
That
know
night,
who you
yeah.
are. All the bands, all the people, the promoters, shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all
Really?
are. So
Superstars.
we played a show in the Bronx. It was actually a benefit show as well. I believe it was for
A community
after
center.
school community
Yeah.
center in the Bronx. So, we're always for supporting the community and, and playing shows for the youth. So we got asked to play this show. I believe it was in January.
Yeah.
It was January. Ironically enough, it was January of 2020. So
Mhm.
this is like well before the pandemic even struck. So we were there and the atmosphere was so big. Like the people there were amazing. The vendors were amazing. They were doing a lot of
Narcan training.
Narcan
training.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. They were doing Narcan training. They were talking about, safe sex, and there were a lot of like promoting vegan food. There was a lot of good vegan food over there.
There was
really good.
It was basically like
But-
health and safety protocols before the health and safety protocols
Before
of the
the-
pandemic.
right.
Mhm.
And all the bands did amazing. Like every single one of them were so good. And when we played, it was like an entirely different feeling for us. It was spiritually heavy, it was emotionally heavy. Like you felt the energy from everybody. And
Mhm.
then after all that, then the cops came. So
Yes, cop shut it down.
Not during
then
our
the
set,
cops
though.
turned out.
It's like,
Not during
yeah.
yet. It wasn't during
Right
our
after.
set. Just
Right
like
after our
way
set.
after. Because I had I believe me and Tony left. I think you left, Jay.
I was there. I was there. I was there when
was
it showed
Okay,
up.
so he was there. Yeah,
I was
you were
there.
there. 'Cause I'm like
I was there.
halfway across the bridge, and I get a text from him like, "Hey, the cops came." I'm like, "What? Wait, what happened?"
Yeah, I thought he was
So,
joking. Like,
yeah.
stop joking.
Yeah, right. But it sucks, but it was a really, really great night, and something that we cherish, honestly.
Cops, yeah, ruin all the fun stuff. 'Cause
They
it's
do,
so-
right? They shut down the venue. You can't go there no more.
Can't
Like,
go
it was a
there
great
no more.
venue. It was a really
That was
good
honestly
venue.
like, despite the travel, that I would say that was one of my favorite venues.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So is like the venue closed now, or was it just like a? Oh yeah.
They
that's
like
Yeah.
like gave them so many tickets. They
Yeah. Fine.
shut the business down. Yeah, and fines
Yeah.
and shut them down.
nice. Dude. Party police.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, super boo to that.
Yeah.
Actually sounded like it would be an interesting story. I'm glad you guys got to play that night
Yeah. That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
good night.
Oh yeah.
before it all. I hope everybody got to play.
Mhm.
But
Well, not
From what
everybody
I
got to play,
remember,
'cause
Not
they
everybody.
shut it
Yeah.
down. Not everybody got to
Yeah,
play.
which was very okay. I will say this though. We were actually supposed to close that night. We were the headlining band.
Right,
Well,
and ended up playing
But
early.
we switched places with the band that was supposed to go because they were running late.
Mhm.
So we went and we played, and then the band that finally showed up, that's when the cops came. So,
oh,
fortunately.
oh, so lucky for you, I guess. But
Yeah, it
Too
did work
bad.
out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Somebody was watching over us.
they
Mhm.
were like, "Play this cool show, then leave."
Right.
Which is basically what we did.
Yeah, the spider senses were tingling. Time to go. Time to go.
um, so when you guys record your songs, is there like a process that you have that? Yeah, I'll finish my question there. Is there a process that you have, or does it just kind of come together?
I don't like when it comes to writing and recording, I don't like thinking about things. I just like doing it. Like there's not a heavy process, like a thinking process that goes into when I write music. We just write what we feel at the moment and play how we feel at the moment. Right.
Mhm.
Cool.
And I think it ends up being better. There comes a better product because it's not overproduced or overthought. It's just pure feeling, pure emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
most of the time, like when we were like for the EP, when we recorded, I was already coming up with new ideas than what I did when I first came up with the songs. I was like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try this. And whatever I didn't get to record here, I just do it live.
Mm.
And,
Yeah, our songs
yeah.
are evolving, usually like constant evolving. Like the song is never done. We're just constantly jamming on it and just playing it. I might play a different riff live, at different part. But it's rock and roll. You're living in the moment. You're writing in the moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, I gotta tell you this story real quick. Funny story is when we recorded Blue Lights, it was just me and Jay in the studio at the time. And I had lost my voice. The way you hear it now, originally didn't sound like, I didn't sing it like that. So
No, he sung it differently. Yeah, he
yeah,
sung
it
it
was supposed to be
differently.
like a grungy type of baritone sounding. And I get to the studio and I lose my voice completely. Like I can only talk like this. I can only talk like this. But if I try to sing it like I couldn't sing like that. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like worried. Like Jay would say I was paranoid. I had anxiety. Jay had
Yeah,
we had
you
to
were
walk
sweating.
outside.
You were
I
sweating.
was sweating bullets. I was like, oh no. I apologized to Jay like 1,000 times. And then the engineer, shout out to Ryan. We call him Coach Ryan.
Yeah, shout out
he's
to
so
Ryan.
great. Yeah, so I just sung it. We did like 4 takes. I just sung it like Bruce Dickinson. And I was like, oh, this is never gonna work. And Jay and Ron, they loved it. I was like,
Yeah, it sounded
I
good.
like
I was like,
this?
yes.
Yeah, I like it. Like, yeah, sing it like that. Sing it like that. And that's where you get the blue lights that I'm sounding like I sound now. I was like, wow. So funny. So I was scared, but then what turned out to be what I thought was going to be a dooming process turned out to be a blessing.
Right.
Yeah, funny on that too was the drums that I originally played on Blue Lights wasn't supposed to sound like just me on the recording. It was supposed to sound, I don't know, I guess more like in line with the song. And then Ryan, I guess he flipped it. And then at first I was just kind of like, nah, man, I want to do this again. And then Jay was just like, no, keep listening to it. And I was like, okay, all right, I like it now. I like this. I dig it. So
Yeah, it's fucking catchy. It was stuck in my head for like a week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's a music video for that too. For people listening, you can look it up.
Oh,
You can watch it.
We're working on that.
We're working on
Yeah.
that. We're working on
Is
it.
there not a music video and I'm just mixing it up?
Oh, we have another music
Yeah.
video.
There's live performances of it.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a music video for Dead Body Fuck Party.
Yes.
The music video for that. Blue Lights music video, it's currently in development.
Yeah.
We're gonna start shooting as soon, I would say between late of this month. But you know what?
August.
We'll keep you posted.
It's
But
coming.
it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, scrap what I said, but still check out their YouTube.
Yeah. No, yeah. Definitely check out our YouTube channel. We got like a bunch of live footage and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the only thing you have on Bandcamp right now is Blue Lights and Dead Body Fuck Party. Which the title just makes me, I can't say
It makes me laugh too. Right? That's why I wrote it. It made me laugh. So
Yeah, it's got kind of like
it's one of those tongue-in-cheek songs, you know, and people love it. So we're like, all right, well, we're not getting canceled for it. So
it's got kind of like a horror punk style theme esque to it.
Right.
And then completely shifts gears with Blue Lights. And I like it. I like eclectic style. Yeah,
we're versatile band. We can do we do a lot.
Yeah, definitely. You guys actually also do like a Bad Brain cover.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, you did your homework. Oh my lord.
Right. This is research.
Homework, yes.
I like this. Yeah, we did Right Brigade.
I love that song.
Very fucking cool. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to hear your new EP when it comes out. And I've checked, I guess, how am I going to spoil it? I've checked out your songs on YouTube. Did I listen to some of your new EP already?
No, not yet. No.
Well, it's going to be a whole new experience.
Well, if you've seen our live performances, you're basically hearing the EP. Only thing is just not studio recorded, it's just live performance of it.
Well, you're hearing a combination of our EP and
newer
stuff put out in the future.
Yeah, and newer stuff too.
Actually, okay, this is going to be a good place we can play a clip of.
Oh, okay.
boy.
Can you tell me about this performance?
So
Yeah.
this, okay, good.
About the song itself or just performing it. I love playing this song, honestly. This is one of one of the newer songs that I love playing. It's such a good feel to it. It's got like a real bluesy tone to it. It's
Mhm.
and the little bridge there. This fire, this fire, this fire consuming me. So good.
Yeah.
That's another one we
funny-
wrote in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, we did. We wrote this up really fast. We were like, oh, you got a riff? All right. All right, we got it.
Yeah. And that's taking it back to our influences, the blues, punk, gospel. Like we describe ourselves Harlem rhythm punk, but the sub sound of our description would be recess for adults, which is like unadulterated freedom of expression without limits. You come to a WinterWolf show, it's like you're taking a break from work, school, whatever you're going through, and this is recess for adults.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, go ahead, guys.
Oh no, you please.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. The origin of the song actually came from documentary called Summer of Soul by Questlove.
Yeah, we were watching that.
Yeah.
That's we were watching that. Yeah, we just finished
And I
watching
want to
that.
thank Tony because he was telling us like, "Yo, you gotta see it, you gotta see it." I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
all right." And I was
And we come in the next week. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And one of the performances that stood out to me was Stevie Wonder playing the drums, which blew my mind because he was hitting those drums like no tomorrow. And he was playing this really just awesome drum fill where I was like, okay, for some reason, I'm like, I'm pinpointing on that. I'm like, okay, my brain's like a computer. I want to take that and add it and make a song out of it. And then I brought it to the guys, and yeah, that's how 111 came to be.
Yeah, he hit the beat and I hit the riff. And then we often run it.
Awesome. But yeah, I'd also like to share some pictures that just show, I think that like it's hard to show the energy of a show through a photo, except for the photos that you sent me. Because you can really see it. Like you are in the air, you are on the ground, you're screaming. Those are 3 different pictures.
Yeah, we
And
have
on
high
the air,
energy
on the
sets. Our
ground.
sets are high energy because we're
Yeah.
feeling it.
And people are always surprised because it's just the 3 of us. Like they're expecting like a full on like almost 6-piece band.
No, it's just drums,
yeah,
bass, and vocals.
bass, yeah. And people are like so engaged by it.
Well, it is the 3 of us on stage, but within all of us, it's a whole combination of energy, and it's like a whole army within us. And it's like you see 3 of us on stage, but technically, it's like 1,000 people on stage, and we just give it to you the way we are.
I love it. And so you guys started as a 2-piece, but only Jay, you were there, and then
I started this band when I have a rare bone marrow cancer, and when I was going through chemotherapy, I was like saying, if I make it through this, I'm starting a band. I don't care, I'm doing it. And so when I got out of chemo and I started getting healthier and I started feeling better, first thing I did was like I picked up my bass and I went to every venue I could, and I just hopped on stage with whoever I found in the crowd. Like I didn't even have a drummer. It was just me on bass. And like I'd meet people and it's like, do you drum? Do you drum? Do you drum? Do you drum? And people just hop on and I just play a set. And from there, I got some another permanent drummer, and we started doing even more shows. And then he quit eventually, and then I found Nate. I found Nate, and he's playing in my office. I was like, this band is amazing. Nate's amazing. Nate, do you play drums? And I was lucky enough to have Nate hop on. Blessed to have Nate hop on. And then we started playing a few more shows, and then Tony came out. Tony was around the scene. He came out to the show.
I was hosting for shows for a
Yeah,
time.
and then and I was like, Tony, be our MC.
Mhm.
You get up on stage, and he got up on stage and killed it every night. Every night he was on, and no matter where we played, he'd show up.
Yeah.
No matter where we play, and I always appreciate that. Like, yo, this guy's come from Jersey just to
Yeah.
play a basement show. Like,
Yeah.
all right, and then we started vibing together and gelling musically and writing.
Mhm.
And playing more and more shows, playing bigger and bigger shows. Eventually we get signed, and we're here today.
Yeah, academic records.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony, when you first were entering the band, is it that like you were emceeing, so you came up, and were you singing songs you already knew, or did you just start singing with them?
I was singing songs I already knew, like "Let It Go." I knew that. I was like, this was one of my favorite songs before I started in the band WinterWolf. I used to study that song, and "Flowers" was another one. And so it was at Astoria Skate Park, 2019 September, and that's I hosted for Jay, and I knew "Let It Go." He used to always begin his sets with that song, so it was "Let It Go." I knew it was a Dead Body. I knew a little bit, but "Flowers" and "Let It Go," those were the two main songs I learned first.
And
And
you would
then
hop on stage and kill it. Kill it. The crowd was into it.
So
Crowds were into it.
preceding having like a singer, you guys were singing still.
I was singing. Yeah, it was just me. It was just me singing.
Oh, okay,
Drums and
perfect.
bass. Yeah.
Tony
drums
was
and
like,
bass,
I
vocal.
memorized all your lyrics. I'm here.
Yeah. I was like, oh, word, okay. Oh, you got
Um,
talent too? I was like, okay.
When I was reading that, I was like, he just got on stage and the lyrics just made sense. But it would make sense if you that makes way more sense.
Yeah, I was actually I was ad-libbing too, and I was just ad-libbing harmonies in between.
But that's what I do. I ad lib all the time.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I ad lib all the damn time. So I was like, oh, okay, he got the performance bug. And I was like, yeah, this worked. Let's keep this going.
Mhm.
Nice. And so, as you guys, I guess, continue in your musical journey, do you have a hope of like messages or like a bigger picture that you're going to be painting for people who listen to you? Or are you just going to go with whatever comes up?
One of the messages is just enjoy life.
Mhm.
Yeah, love yourself.
Enjoy life, love yourself. You mentioned, about horror punk. In a way, we're kind of like taking that concept and making it surreal, and
Yes, turning
because
on his head.
one of our major, I would say one of our major influences is a show called Atlanta.
Mhm.
It was done by
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Little brother.
And we always talk about like because we've all watched Atlanta together, and we're always talking like some of the songs and even some of the newer songs that we got cooking are sort of based off of different episodes, especially the most recent episodes that came out. So and also Jordan Peele as well.
Right.
Him doing Get Out and the new movie Nope and Us. We take a lot of influences of making what seems to be, unnatural, and make it as if this, like, not even make it like this is real for us.
Yes.
Like our subject matters always pull from, not like make believe, but shared experiences. And that's what makes, UnWell, important for us. And we want to make sure like it's important for everyone else, because it's more than just, a 4-song EP where we're like yelling for like a whole few minutes and, playing heavy. There's a message to pull from it. And we want to represent a lot of the younger kids, and even in our age demographic and older, that it's okay to be different. It's
It's okay to feel different.
You know, it's okay to feel different. You know, there's a community here. You know, we're blessed to be a part of the community that we're in now. You know, there's a community here, and you know, don't be afraid to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all expressing ourselves in different ways, but we're doing it in a positive way. You know, like us and my big sis Flora, who I play in Maafa, we're always telling people, you know, start bands. You know,
You're
write
thinking about it,
music.
do it.
You
Yeah,
know,
do
if
it.
you're thinking
Just do
about
it.
it, do it. You know, even if you feel like you're not good to play drums or something, like just play it. You know, start somewhere, because a lot of us started from just going to a show and saying to ourselves, "I want to do that."
True.
Also, we want our viewers. We don't like to. I don't like to say fans, but supporters. And even if you're hearing this for the first time, we want each and every one of you to see yourselves in us.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause we
and
are
our,
you.
absolutely, we're all in this together. Being a good person, the best way you know how. It's a lot of things going on in this world. It's always been going on in the world, but now, you know, in our generation, our era, just do your best just to be a good person.
One of the main things we always take pride in is when we perform, we want people to have fun. You know, like
Right.
what Tony
Right.
said, it's recess for adults, but you know, it's recess for everybody.
Everybody.
You know, it's all ages. Every show we do, we want everyone to feel welcome to just dance to the music. You know, you don't gotta know the lyrics. You know, just, you know, dance, have a good time, enjoy yourselves. And that's what makes doing this important. You know, is to just enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's welcome but cops.
Yeah. No cops, please.
We probably had a few attend our shows off duty.
We definitely
Hey, look,
have.
as long as you don't come in there with the whole thing on, you know, it's all good. Yeah.
Cool. And so I normally like to ask a little more activisty questions near the end. Do you feel like what do you feel like an end to social injustice would look like? That's a big one. I have like
We have to look at each other as ourselves. We have to look at each other as equals. We have to treat each other well. Everyone deserves to be respected, and everyone needs to be loved.
When we can
And
treat
that's
each
a hard
other,
problem to tackle. That's a hard problem to tackle. That's a tall order,
yeah,
yes, but it can be done. I feel.
yeah. It's really about just treating each other like human beings,
Right.
treating each other as equals.
Right.
You know, like humility is one of the most important things, but also something that I feel like is often missing from most of us. And I feel like if we had more of that it's not the end all, but it's a good place to start.
To start, right.
Absolutely.
Recognizing each other's humanity, right?
And I would add, to piggyback to what they said, my brother said, and a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but it all starts with self. You know, healing the best way you know how within. You know, it's gonna come a point. I don't know, everybody's different. They have their own time frame of when it's going to happen, but it's going to come a point where as though we have to stop and not place the blame on them, him, her, but look at yourself in the mirror and find out how can I be a better person? How can I contribute to society? What is the solution? How can I be a solution? Instead of continuing in the hamster wheel of whatever it was going on right now. So it has to come a point. That's just my opinion.
Those are really good answers, to be honest. Because yes, like we can't actually make social change until we take personal responsibility, and we can't even take personal responsibility if we can't look at ourselves in the eyes in the mirror and be like, "This is comfortable." So
right, like we can't be going out singing Marvin Gaye, "What's Going On," when it's like you know what's going on. just,
Yeah.
do something.
Mhm.
Yeah. What
And it's
makes you
not
the
easy.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm saying, and it's not easy to do. It's like a lot of
No, it's
people
not.
call it. A lot of people call it shadow work. And that's very
Yeah.
cleansing yourselves of all the darkness that's going on. That's not easy because a lot of us have been through some traumatic experiences. But
True.
once you start to peel the layer or take it one level at a time, not going from level 1 to level 10, level 20, one layer at a time, then you'll start to you see the spoils and the riches of yourself. And then you can begin to heal other people without like being preachy or just throwing it in there. If you should do that, you should do that. Once you start healing yourself and all the things that's going on around you, then you'll start to attract more healing from other people. And that's a personal experience.
Right, big time.
Definitely big time. I also wanted to ask you what makes you the most hopeful in regards to social change, but it's kind of what you guys are saying. Like, it is hard, but I do feel like, but I'll ask anyways. What makes you the most hopeful?
Wait, you said what makes us the most hopeful?
The most hopeful, yeah.
Oh, seeing, just living in the moment of like for us, we're present for a lot of our friends, coming from different backgrounds in different parts of the world, and we just make sure we just show respect and make sure, like, people who feel unseen are seen.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. Like, whenever we go to shows that's different who are different from us, we bring them in too. They're like, nah, y'all come in here too. Everyone is welcome.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing I would say that gives me hope, is like, especially, like I said, from our community, we look out for a lot of the unspoken ones, the ones that often feel like they don't have a voice. And we put these all age shows, or like the Juneteenth show, we throw shows like this and say, yo, just come through. You don't gotta do anything, just come as you are. And it's like Field of Dreams. When you build it, they'll come.
And you never know who's watching. You can inspire one person, and that one person that you inspire can go on to inspire millions and change the whole game. So just being in the moment, just being alive, just doing your best to be grateful for the, small things that, a lot of people may take for granted these days. Just a lot of people don't realize how important it is just to breathe. You have food, clothing, shelter, your ligaments are working, God bless everybody. So those things right there is just like, all right, we're alive. That means we're still here. We got work to do. So who can we inspire? How can we become better than the person who we were yesterday?
I like it. So, Jay, do you have anything you want to add? You look deep. You look deep in thought, but you have the like behind you, so it.
This is me. That's my girlfriend. I feel if we don't get things right, we don't have a chance. So we have no choice but moving forward to get it right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because what's coming is a cliff, and we have to do something. We got to pull the brakes. We got to do something. We have to make a turn. We have to pull the brakes. So we have to cut the speed. We have to do something. But if we do nothing, it's more dangerous than any type of inaction. So I believe that, as humanity will get it right eventually. Eventually. That's my hope.
What is your message to people who are not currently involved in any kind of like punk or even activism, or even just what you're saying, like just some self-help, some self-growth? What is your message to them to
all change starts with, with you within. You have to love yourself so you can love everyone else, right? That's big. That's
healing.
heal. Yes, self-healing and
Mhm.
self-love is very valuable tools.
Yeah, and it's important, especially nowadays, because back in the day, as far as back as I can remember, this wasn't talked about self-help, self-healing, going to therapists. It was looked down upon. It was like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, just smoke this, drink this, go out and go to church and do whatever, to be all right, you'll be all right. And then it's like, thank you, but it's like I don't feel that is the solution. So now we're living in a time. What a wonderful time to be alive. And I also say therapists are working overtime because at this point, a lot of people need self-healing, and it's very important, especially for our community, to do some type of, therapeutic work to engage in self-healing, like Jay said, so you can help others. We're all in this together. It's just one person. No, it takes a whole community.
Right. Can't do it
Takes a
alone.
village. Yes, takes a village.
Right.
Perfect. I got 2 more questions for you. Pretty easy.
Mm.
What is your final statement for the people?
Be a good person. Just be a great person.
Like I always say at our shows, love yourself, take
Mhm.
care of each other, and we're all in this together.
Do the
Life goes
work.
fast.
Do the work. Do the hard work and making yourself better than you was yesterday.
Mhm.
It's difficult. It's strenuous. It's traumatic. It can be very, very triggering, but you have to do the work. Otherwise, you can't expect change from doing nothing or from saying it and not putting action into your words. You have to do the work.
Inaction is more dangerous than action.
Right.
Absolutely. And just want to add on real quick. It was a quote from a movie called Fight Club. One of the main characters, Tyler Durden, he said one thing, and when I first seen it, I cried like a baby. But then I always go back to that scene. He asked his counterpart. He said, "Gentlemen," he was driving in the opposite side of the lane, fast, really fast, and he said, "Gentlemen, what would be the most important thing that you wish you had done before you died?" So it's like, wow. And like, it's just like, and I paused it. And even to this day, I still watch and it gives me chills to this day. It's like, wow. And I think I turn that to myself. Like, if this was my last breath, what would I wish I had done before I passed away? So this is something to think about.
You got me thinking.
Yeah.
Last question. I guess I'll ask 2 different parts because you guys got shows coming up. Links, where can people find you? Bandcamp, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
we got Bandcamp, YouTube, IG. I think we got a Twitter.
Do we? No, we don't have a Twitter. I stay with.
No, we don't have Twitter, so we don't have that. But we got IG, Facebook, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. We're also on Spotify as well, so you can check us out on there.
All streaming platforms are on.
All streaming platforms. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And so where people can find your new album then is all streaming platforms.
Right, it's all streaming.
Yeah, we'll have it on CD and vinyl eventually.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And then your next upcoming show is Punk Island?
No,
Actually,
actually,
that's the next upcoming New York show.
Right.
That's the next New York show. That's the next New York show.
Our next show is actually going to be in upstate New York. Is one of our upstate New York shows. We're going to be playing at PJ's, and it's going to be with RBNX, Leave It Alone, Leave It Behind. Sorry, Leave It Behind, and a couple of other bands. But we're playing with some of our friends out there. Then we're going off to Texas to do the Black and Brown show. Then we're doing Punk Island. And then we're doing another upstate show in Syracuse called Forevermore, the Forevermore Fest, where we're going to be playing up there. So that's what we have planned so far.
You guys play a lot of shows. I'm
We
impressed.
do.
Actually.
We do play a lot
Yeah.
of shows.
We gotta keep
do.
busy.
All right.
They're,
So,
they're, they're important. They're important shows we're playing too.
yes, hell yeah. And if anyone that's a promoter that's listening, this is the band for you.
We're available.
Hey, listen.
Sweet. Well, I really appreciate your time. I think this was
Thank you.
a
No,
great
thank you.
conversation, and
Thank you for all that you do.
thank you so much.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Cut.